How do everyone? It is I, David. It is weekend video time and there's a shed load to do. Main priority for today is to get the games room sorted out, because over the course of the week, as I am doing sort of crafting and videos and things like that, the games room does tend to get taken over with painting projects and half assembled models and things like that. So I need to convert this back into a suitable gaming area for tonight's game and finally find out what that big elm tree in the middle is going to do to us. It is an absolutely glorious day outside with a very light breeze, so it's ideal spray paint weather, and I have decided on a colour scheme for those buggy slash jeep slash sci-fi vehicle things, so I will get them done and out of the way in very short order. By the end of the week, I would certainly love to have the Phantine flyer completed, and then that will at least make all of the Christmas presents that I got done and sorted, and then it's just going to be those buggy jeeps to get out of the way, and then that is all of the purchases for this year done. Because there is every possibility that there could be more reinforcements coming sort of towards the end of this month. I'll keep that under wraps for an unboxing if it happens. I won't show you the tidying, but let's get the top coats on those buggies. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. And if you can work out what I am basing the colour scheme for these off, please feel free to drop a comment down below. Alright, we're into Sunday now as I'm filming this, and it was a really good game last night. A little bit of combat, lots of mystery, and the point at which we left it, we are in a druid's grove. That's me in the centre underneath that gnarly big horrible tree, and a ritual is underway to part me from Sticky Mac Stick. I'm the party rogue, and it just happened to be lying about, so fell into my pocket, and it's apparently a bit dodgy, and really I shouldn't be having it. We shall see what happens. But that kind of thing is best told over a tall glass of ale or something like that. I do need to get some chores done around the house, but I do want to get some painting done over the course of this and get this video up for you. So let's head over to the painting table and see what more can be done on this. Hopefully I'll get it done by the end of tonight. First thing is going to be a little bit of dry brushing, and this is just bolt gun metal. Just get these weapons done. Get a bit on these intake fans, try not to go over. And then we'll get this engine done. And then I do want to sort of block in this sort of cabling at the back here as well. While that part of the flyer is drying, I am swapping over to the extremely large brush, and we're just going to get the dry brushing done on the base here. Alright, that's not looking too bad, and because it's close at hand and a target opportunity, I am going to get a wee bit more done on the bane of my life. Slowly but surely he is getting there. And that does remind me, I did want just a wee bit of a light sort of dry brush up around the engines, because they are sort of worn, or used rather, just to give that sort of ash burning effect. Just going to finish off the weathering with a little bit of tan paint here, and again it's just a wee bit of a dry brush, and it's more sort of like around the end of those nozzles, just to get that sort of dirty kind of jet type of thing just there. I'm going for the gunmetal again, because one thing that I did forget to do was just block out these sort of studs or nuts or whatever they are, get them standing out properly. And you know, we are getting quite close to this being finished, but the big thing is to get this canopy blocked in. So it's going to be an undercoat of white just to start off with. Alright, I've given that white undercoat a little bit of a chance to dry, and it's mixy up time because it is supposedly glass that we're doing. I have got the Reeves gloss gel here. Get some of that on. I want a good splodge more white. I'm going to add some silver just to give it a bit of shimmer. Now, in the past, when I have been doing canopies, I've given them sort of a blue tinge, but because it is surrounded by the blue frame of the canopy, I'm going to go a different colour, and I am going to go for some old green ink. And then we'll just use this to block in the main colour on this canopy. Alright, I've gone back to the dark blue, the ultramarine, because there's a couple of places where it just needs a wee bit of a touch up, because I didn't realise that I'd accidentally gone over with the silver. Plus, one of the things that I have found with kind of slanting flat plates on these 3D printed models is that due to capillary action, you do find the colours kind of bleed up and onto the wrong place. So I just want to quickly do a retouch up on the canopy as well. Now, astute viewers will have realised that we are now past Sunday and the video did not go up. Real life got in the way, and unfortunately I did so want to get that flyer done that I thought, I'll give myself another night. We are in Monday now. We are so close. There was one colour left to put on. Bit of foliage to put onto the ground cover and some decals, and that would have been done and out of the way. I'll get on with that in just a second, but seeing as how I've got another evening, why don't I see what else I can sneak in under the radar. Let's go for one of these as well. No promises I'm going to get it complete. I do want this video up tonight, guaranteed. But yeah, let's see how far I can actually get done on this one. And then the final colour that I did not manage to get done last night, unfortunately. This is Old Citadel Enchanted Blue, and I just want a couple of sort of highlights, just kind of on the leading edges, sort of up on the canopy areas. While those highlights are drying, let's just get a wee bit of foliage, etc. onto this base. Get a few dabs around there. Oh, you're gonna fit. Have to swizzle it a bit, and then that can dry, and I'll get some bushes on there. All right, drying time is up. Let's get some bush in there, like so. Final thing to be done on this model is to get unit markings. Well, it won't have the regimental markings because I'm not 100% sure what they're supposed to be, but it will have its, you know, aircraft number on the wings and probably up on the back of the fuselage there. And for that I have these. Now these are Woodland Scenics dry transfer decals. It means you don't cut them out and wet them. They're kind of like the old Latraset transfers. So basically you put them in place and you rub really hard on the back and it transfers it from the sheet onto the model, and it's all done. So there's no need for water or anything like that, and you don't have them sliding around all over the place. Haven't used tweezers. But so I'll get these put on off camera, and then it'll be off for a glamour shot on this one, and I'll get on with that buggy model. Alright, let's be about this buggy, and I know what the kind of colour scheme I want is. Whether or not that works out, I am not 100% certain, but let's give it a go. Now the first thing that I want to do is just block in these mudguards with grey. Always watch out for stray bristles. Right. There's one on the end there as well. Okay, that's a lot better. I might need to go over that with a second coat, but let's see how we do on the first pass. Yeah, I will need to block that in again, make sure I get the edges. I'm not bothered about the undersides, and then I want the same on the front. But I'm not just doing the mudguard, I'm doing the whole of the sort of front area. I want to leave that area on the front. in the primary colour, same on the other side. Now that I've got the grey blocked in, and that did take actually 3 coats, what I need to do is start getting some black on here, and this is sort of like a re-undercoat just on the areas that are going to be painted either metal or silver or gunmetal or that kind of thing. So realistically what we're talking about is weapons. And again, with this being sort of like a gloss coat, I get the feeling it's going to take more than 1 coat. This is probably going to take quite possibly the rest of the night, or the rest of the amount of time that I have left, which is a shame because I had hoped to get a little bit further done on this, but it is what it is. Oh, and of course the big conspicuous black areas that I need to do with the tyres as well. Almost forgot about them. Yeah, these gloss undercoats that I'm using, while they do cover beautifully, they can be a bit of a pain when you're putting another coat on top of it. It would have been nice to have at least got the gunmetal on, but with a lot of places taking sort of multiple coats, and obviously you've got to allow it to dry between them, it's taken just a wee bit longer than I'd hoped, but it's certainly starting to take shape, and hey, it's 3 colour minimum already, which is always a landmark. Alright, that's probably it for tonight. Let's go do an outro. I would say that about wraps it up for this video, but there are a few housekeeping things that we do need to get out of the way. First of all, there is another vehicle complete, which means the scoreboard gets updated. And the other thing is that I do need to publicly acknowledge a very kind viewer who sent some words of encouragement. And while I'm not going to name any names, they will know who they are if I say bird photos. Oh, behave you lot, not that kind of bird. Now, as I said in the last video, the infantry score is looking absolutely dire. And one thing that, I guess while I was getting all of the reinforcements out of the way, I did sort of put them on hold. There is a long form video for this particular army, but I do need to get back to the core regiment that started all of these off. Gaunt's Ghosts, the Tanith First and Only, I need to get all of those refurbished. And I will probably try and do maybe half a tray, maybe a full tray a night. It just depends on what the damage is realistically that I find. And it would definitely be good to get that particular monkey off my back and get them out and on display. And with that, I will wind this video up here. Obviously, if you enjoy this kind of content, please, if you haven't already, do hit the subscribe button. Tickle that little bell so that you get notifications when I put new videos up. A like would be brilliant. Comments of what you want to see, there's a whole section for it down below. Until the very next time, you guys be good to yourself. Toodle pip for now.